Good evening, everyone. This is Melissa Thomas of Florida National News coming to you with the evening news rundown. Now, it's been a minute. Hopefully, you guys are doing very well. And of course, I'm bringing you the evening news rundown for your Thursday, November 5th, 2020. We are already that far into the month of November. The presidential election has been quite a journey, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as we get deeper into today's rundown. We do have Angel Perry here waiting in the wings for hashtag Worker Wednesday on a Thursday. We have her here on a special day, but we do want to kind of dissect some of the more recent updates as it relates to the presidential election and more specifically in terms of the voter count. So stay tuned for that awesome conversation. And yes, it is a Thursday, so Jamecia is also here to bring you your entertainment 4 for 4. Now, before we get too deep into the news, we want to make sure to encourage anyone looking to advertise. If you are someone from a corporation or a business owner who's looking to advertise on a platform, on new platforms, you can shoot us an email at ads@floridanationalnews.com. We'd love to have that conversation with you. Now, as always, guys, when we do come on, we like to make sure to keep you guys updated on the latest COVID-19 reports globally here in the United States and in the state of Florida. So globally, the World Health Organization is reporting over 47.9 million confirmed cases today and over 1.2 million confirmed deaths. Here in the United States, according to Johns Hopkins University, we're seeing over 9.5 million confirmed cases and over 234,000 confirmed deaths. In the state of Florida, the Department of Health is reporting over 827,000 confirmed cases, and we're at over 17,000 confirmed deaths here in the state of Florida. Now, jumping into our world story, Italy is now putting several of its regions on red alert as COVID-19 deaths begin to spike in Europe, particularly to the tune of 43%. Wanted to give you guys a quick clip. That is the wrong one. Here we go. So a quick update on what's going on in Europe. France, Italy, and the UK are reporting the highest numbers of new cases. Now, in that time, although Andorra, the Czech Republic, and Belgium have reported their highest also. Now, in Italy, they warned that it could run out of intensive care beds by the end of November, and they have approved measures including a 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. curfew and a new, quote, traffic light system of regional restrictions, meaning a color-coded system of regional restrictions. Public transport will travel at 50% capacity there. Museums will close. All students aged 6 or over must wear masks, and restaurants and bars must close at 6 p.m. local time. In orange zones, people will be barred from leaving the region except for work or health reasons, and bars and restaurants are going to close except for delivery and takeout. In the red zones, which of course are the most urgent zones, people will not be allowed to leave their town, and all non-essential stores will close. The new rules will be in effect from Thursday, meaning today, until December 3rd. Now, the regions of Calabria, Lombardy, Piedmont, and Valle d'Aosta will become red zones as of tomorrow, Friday, according to Italian Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte. He announced that yesterday. The region of Puglia and the island of Sicily will become orange zones. So we'll continue to keep you guys updated on that. As you guys know, the COVID-19 cases are increasing, not only in Europe, but also in the United States, which brings me to the headline here for the United States. You guys likely heard yesterday, we actually crossed the threshold of over 100,000 cases in one day. Normally we cross the 100,000 mark, but usually it's a little more collective than that. But we crossed that in just one day for the first time. And this was as of yesterday. And of course, this is also while we're waiting for the results of the presidential election. So a bit of a tug of war for our consciousness there. But on Tuesday, you know, voters were in their goggles and face shields, and they handed out ballots to poll workers. And a lot of the poll workers were also in hazmat suits or, you know, behind layers of plexiglass for safety purposes. Now, despite the pandemic's omnipresence, you know, exit polls show that voters were more concerned about the state of the economy than their public health. About 4 in 10 voters said they would prioritize the economy over efforts to limit the spread of COVID-19. So that was a very interesting finding. Health officials nationwide attempted to capture the attention of a distracted nation, warning that the steady increase in infections that began in mid-September is not slowing down. Amid lingering uncertainty over potential vaccines. We're continuing to keep you guys updated about the vaccines as well. Now, the director of National Institutes of Health, Francis Collins, urged Americans to, quote, do the right thing and wear a mask in public to protect themselves and stop the spread of COVID-19 as the country heads into the winter and flu season. Now, by early Wednesday evening, the US had logged more than 104,000 new infections. even as hospitalizations and fatalities also rose. Now, at least 17 states, including Kansas, Tennessee, Virginia, Oklahoma, Montana, Iowa, North Dakota, South Dakota, Ohio, Nebraska, Minnesota, Indiana, and West Virginia reported record high numbers of current COVID-19 cases, or inpatients to be specific. Some hospitals in the St. Louis and Omaha metropolitan areas have started rescheduling elective surgeries in order to free up beds, while the head of the Arkansas Hospital Association said at a briefing back on Tuesday that the state was facing a critical shortage of healthcare workers as states compete for nurses. We'll continue to keep you guys updated on that. Stay tuned here at FloridaNationalNews.com for more info. And jumping here to the state of Florida, Florida is no exception to the increase in cases. Our cases are starting to trend upward here in the state of Florida as well. So a bit of an update for you guys on that. On Wednesday, for the first time since the pandemic began, of course, that milestone of the over 100,000 cases. Now, according to data from the Florida Department of Health, though, Sunshine State's percent positivity gradually rose from 3.91% back in October to 7.75% in November 4th's report. So the day after the election, that report came out saying that we are now up to 7.75% positivity. Now, in October, daily case totals were between 1,000 and 2,000 cases per day. The state reported 4,400 new cases as of Wednesday. So the question is, what's driving it? Now, in the fall, there have been Stanley Cup celebrations. Of course, that's over in Tampa. Congratulations again to the Tampa Bay Lightning. More students have gone back to school, and possibly general fatigue with COVID-19 precautions have come into play, or as we've locally heard it, COVID-19 fatigue. But we here at Florida National News continue to exhort you guys to stay vigilant, stay careful, okay? Make sure to stay safe. Now, experts say a spike was bound to happen. The good news is, according to Dr. Charles Lockwood, who's the dean of the University of South Florida's Health Morsani College of Medicine, the good news is that Hillsborough County's COVID-19 patients are younger. They don't seem nearly as sick, and there have been fewer intubations needed. So that's a bit of good news. Now, while the increase doesn't call for any additional restrictions, he said it's critical that we keep up our efforts to control the spread. So we at Florida National News are continuing to give you guys that bit of advice as well. With the holidays around the corner, experts urge common sense. Keep it to small groups, keep things in open settings, wear your masks, and any high risk or elderly relative should probably not attend those gatherings. So continue to stay safe and continue to protect your families as well, guys. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back with a few more stories for you. All right, stay tuned.
At Duke Energy, we deliver electricity and so much more, like free home energy assessments, rebates for energy-saving improvements, payment options to help you better manage your budget, and even bill credits for helping the community use less energy. So no matter what you're doing, we can help you make better energy choices every day. It's just another way we bring power to your life. How much can you save?
All right, guys, welcome back to the Evening News Rundown. In our next U.S. story, women are having a moment in the GOP, particularly as it relates to House of Congress, especially as a result of election night. This is just one example here that you're seeing on your screen. But 2 years after the Democrats had celebrated another, quote, year of the woman, Republicans are having a historic moment of their own. House Republicans are poised to add at least 13 women, if not more, to their ranks next year after a record-breaking recruitment effort. Now, several races involving female GOP candidates are still too close to call, so we'll continue to keep you updated. But when all the votes are tallied, Republicans can count as many as 33 women in their conference, which is a new record for the party. So congratulations to the GOP on that. They're already on track to make history because previously the highest number of GOP women in a freshman class was 9. So that's a pretty big jump. Now, Representative Elise Stefanik, who is out of New York, says, quote, the story of the night is the success of Republican women at the ballot box. Now, she had launched a PAC dedicated solely to electing more GOP women. She said, quote, for all these naysayers, we have proven that strong Republican women are the best candidates to put on the ballot. Now, most notably, female GOP candidates won in some of the toughest races in the country and have been responsible for flipping 6 of 7 Democratic seats thus far. Now, that includes recruits such as Maria Elvira Salazar of Florida, a former broadcast journalist for Telemundo, Michelle Fischbach of Minnesota, a former lieutenant governor and the first female president of the state's Senate. State Senator Stephanie Bice, I believe, I hope that I pronounced that correctly, of Oklahoma. State Representative Nancy Mace of South Carolina, real estate agent and former State Representative Yvette Harrell of New Mexico, and State Representative Ashley Hinson of Iowa. So congrats to those ladies. Other candidates, the race is still too close to call, but where female GOP candidates are leading, including Claudia Tenney, who you guys saw in the clip earlier, and Nicole Maliotakis in New York, Mariannette Miller Meeks in Iowa, and Young Kim in California. Now, Republican women continue to lag far behind their counterparts in the House. 88 women serve in the Democratic caucus. So we'll continue to keep you guys updated as things continue to grow and shift in the election. So congrats to the women in the GOP and growing their particular caucus there. Now, jumping here to the state of Florida, speaking more election talk, Seminole County actually went blue this time for this particular election. It had been purple for a while, but Seminole County decided to go ahead and go blue for the election. They decided to go for Joe Biden on Tuesday night. It had been a red county for almost 80 years, but Tuesday night was a historic night. And whether the impacts are lasting remains to be seen. Now, Seminole County Democrats saw Joe Biden defeat President Trump by 7,000 votes. Seminole County Democrats Chair Brittany Nether said, once you go blue in a presidential election, you're really seen more as that. So we're blue now. She's embracing that. Now, the University of Central Florida political science professor Aubrey Jewett said, quote, it was not a complete change. I would not say Seminole is now blue county by any means. So a bit of a difference of opinion. But aside from Biden's victory in the county and Tuesday night's re-election of Congresswoman Stephanie Murphy, the rest of Seminole County's local winners remained red. So that's why there's that bit of a debate. But very interesting change of pace, electorally speaking, in Seminole County. We'll continue to keep you guys updated on that. Now we're going to take another quick commercial break, and we will be back with your business and sports stories. All right, guys. Thanks as always for tuning in. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
I'm not picking it up. You pick it up.
I'm not picking it up.
Well, somebody's got to pick it up.
I'll pick it up. They're clean. 'Cause my hand is clean. Oh yeah, I'm Charmin clean. That's how I know they're clean.
Charmin Ultra Strong is woven like a washcloth and just cleans better.
Yeah, I'm Charmin clean.
The kid does have a point.
My hand is clean. Yeah.
Enjoy the go with Charmin. And for an extra clean finish, try Charmin Flushable Wipes.
Welcome back to the Evening News Rundown, bringing you your business story. Disney Cruise Line is joining many of its other counterparts and basically choosing to not have any cruises for the remainder of 2020. They're going to go ahead and start that up for next year. So they've decided, as part of the Cruise Lines International Association, which is, of course, the trade group of companies that includes Disney, Carnival, and Royal Caribbean, they made the announcement Tuesday that ships won't be hitting the open waters until at least December 31st, marking the fourth extension in recent months. We've been reporting these different updates for you guys, and they've decided to wait until the end of the year. Now, the pause is set to help members, quote, prepare for the implementation of extensive measures to address COVID-19 safety under guidance from public health experts, according to the association. Now, the 2-month extension will further devastate an industry that is still reeling from the virus-related collapse in global travel. Now, in the US alone, it has affected 420,000 people whose livelihoods are connected to cruises. The industry generates $53 billion in annual economic activity, according to the association, and each additional day of suspended operations costs nearly 1,000 American jobs. Now, since mid-March, the association estimated that more than $25 billion in economic activity and over 164,000 American jobs have been lost. So it's a bit of unfortunate news, but we'll continue to keep you guys updated as well. Now, jumping into our sports story, this one is a bit of a crossover. It's half sports, half politics. You guys, anybody keeping up with the election, may also be aware of Atlanta Senator Kelly Loeffler. She is also the co-owner of the Atlanta Dream team, which is the WNBA team. And as you guys have likely seen during the results of the election, she is headed to a runoff in January. She is running against, during the election, was in competition with Republican Doug Collins and Democrat Reverend Raphael Warnock. So as a result of Tuesday, she is in a runoff with Reverend Raphael Warnock. So we'll see the results of that runoff in January. Now, a lot of the members of the WNBA, especially the WNBA PA, the Players Association, have called for her resignation. They've publicly called her out in a stunning unified statement. But we shall see how things go with Senator Loeffler in January and whether or not she decides to resign from the team or from co-owning the team. She came under fire back in July after writing a letter to WNBA Commissioner Kathleen Engelbert disapproving of the league's support for Black Lives Matter. She claimed that sports need less politics in them and that the league should put American flags on the jersey instead of social justice sayings. And that was what caused a huge backlash. So, I mean, give us your thoughts below, by the way. Let us know in a comment below if you believe that she's right in what she said, or if you think if athletes had the right to put those things on their jerseys, if they had the right to use their platforms accordingly. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to have you be part of that conversation. Now, speaking of politics, because it is that kind of day, and as I mentioned, today is a special hashtag Worker Wednesday. It's Worker Wednesday on a Thursday. But I did want to bring in the lovely Angel Perry, who is always here to drop some truth bombs on us and kind of let us know how things are going. So, how's it going?
Hi, Melissa. It's going good, actually.
Awesome. So yeah, let's have this bit of conversation here about the election and where we are now, particularly as it relates to what we're seeing legally with what the Trump campaign, the Trump team is doing legally in terms of trying to first request a recount in Wisconsin, but also kind of calling to put a stop to the votes or the vote count in several of very tight races. Kind of give us your thoughts on that, kind of dissect that for our audience who might be dizzy and confused and impatient at this point, because they're just like, who's the next president? But, you know, kind of dissect that for us.
Let's just go with the count. Let's start with that. So most stipulations in policy, and this is across all 50 states, when they go to count a ballot, whether it's from in person or by mail or absentee, it requires the volunteer that counts. It requires an official from the Republican Party, the Democratic Party, and usually, not always, usually 2 independents in addition to someone from the supervisor of elections office. Mm-hmm. All of those people have to view the ballot to certify it to be counted. That's one. So when someone is saying don't count the ballots, that makes little to no sense because there's a certification process for it to be counted to begin with. It goes through several checkpoints. There's for it to be counted and legal, signature has to match, a person has to be registered, all of the things that protect the cast and to keep it legal, so that calling for recounts, that all those steps have to be in place so that each time there is a recount requested, which each party has a right to do. So there's nothing wrong with that. That is part of the process. Whenever it's less than 1% or whatever the percentages is for each state, because each state has its own number, the candidate has a right to do a recount. Mm-hmm. But when we get into not counting a ballot, that speaks against completely democracy, period. So just as I just explained, there's all these checks and balances to legitimize the ballot to begin with. And when someone says, don't count it at all. So you don't want to count the ones that you're winning, but you want to continue to count the ones that you're losing. So if somebody has a problem with the process, then it should be all or nothing. Picking and choosing speaks to a very self-driven motive, other than it being an actual legal issue of fraud.
Right.
because you have so many checks and balances. Again, each political party has an official to represent and nod yes to that ballot. So then
Right.
not only are you speaking against your own person, but if that voter is on your side, you're also saying no to that.
Right. And that was my question with regards to that, because if you stop the count, as we were talking a little bit off camera, if you were to stop the count as of right now, electorally speaking, Joe Biden's ahead.
Right.
So even if you were to chop it now, you're at a disadvantage. But also the other thing too is the way to decisively choose a president is we have to get to 270. So one way or another, you still have to wait for a count to get to 270, no matter what.
Correct.
So, and as you said, it's bipartisan. Like there's a Democrat and a Republican that is checking each ballot.
And
So-
independent.
And an independent. So you're
And also a person from the supervisor elections. Now, a lot of people have been asking, and I wanted to address this specifically about the ballots. A lot of people have been asking specifically when the elections office has a batch of ballots that are being submitted and proven to be counted and certified. Some people were asking, well, if this batch goes through, why is it not the president that gets some ballots and only Biden gets ballots, or the other way around?
Mhm.
Now, if we go back to policy and what was advertised between each party, in the Republican Party, they were encouraging their voters to go in person.
right.
So majority of Republicans have went in person.
Right.
The Democratic Party, their op-ed was, you need to mail it in. So
Mhm.
when there is an extreme amount of ballots and they are at the mail-in version that they get to, in-person's ballots are counted first, then the
Right.
mail, then absentee.
Mhm.
So when those batches are certified, when they have a mail-in ballot, it is more likely, not 100% that it's going to be Democratic, but it's more likely that it will be Democratic just because of the instruction each party gave their particular voter. So if you remember those, then it'll explain why sometimes when a batch is approved and submitted to supervisor of elections, why one candidate will have a batch approved under their name as opposed to it being a mix.
Right. Right. And in some cases, that also explains what's taking so long as well, because since the in-person ballots are counted first, like a lot of these key states that we're waiting on now, like their in-person votes were already counted. Like that portion is completed, and they're just very sternly, for those of you who've been watching a lot of these more recent press briefings by respective supervisors of elections for various counties or the secretaries of state, they're telling you we have to go through the legal ballots and we have to count all of them, because that is our legal duty. Like by law, we can't stop the vote. Like by law, we have to go through the entire process, step by step, count by count.
And then just the difference between the cast. In-person ballot is naked. So it's already sorted by the machine. If anybody's gone to vote and you're submitting the ballot, it's already sorted. In a mail-in ballot, you have the ballot, you have the blind envelope, and then the envelope that it was mailed in. So a person has to certify when you have that volunteer that opens it. Then it's got to go through all the checks to be certified to begin with. So there is no fraud. So these are the checks and balances that may delay the time, the difference between in person, you've already shown your ID, the ballots are sorted by the sorting machine. So that's why that's going to be faster. Mail-in ballots have to do additional checks and balances to even be certified. It has to go through all the people viewing, all those officials viewing that one ballot, and each and every one is certified the same way.
Awesome. Man, thanks for, as always, dissecting this stuff, dropping truth bombs. One thing I will say is I'm glad Florida is not hanging in the balance this election year. Florida is always the culprit. So it is. We were good this year. So congratulations to the state of Florida. We are in the clear.
Good job.
Awesome. So yeah, Angel, as always, thank you. It is a pleasure having you. We will see you again next week. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Melissa.
No problem. All right, guys, we are going to take another quick commercial break, and it is Thursday. So we will have the lovely Jamecia Stoudemire on hand to provide you with your entertainment 4 for 4. Stay tuned.
One of the things I love about Bass Pro is they have 3 great ways to shop. You can head into one of their awesome stores, visit BassPro.com, or get great gear from that catalog Johnny Morris sends out. Hi, here's your package. Bass Pro Shops, where commitment, passion, and the great outdoors all come together. Why would you shop anywhere else?
All right, guys, welcome back to the Evening News Rundown. And as I mentioned, it is Thursday, so we do have the lovely Jamecia Stoudemire on hand in Los Angeles, California for the entertainment 4 for 4. So without further ado, we will bring her on in. Good afternoon, Jamecia. How's it going?
Going great here in LA. Good afternoon to you. A little tired still. You know, I fell asleep watching the news. We're still waiting on that count.
Right? Everybody's waiting on the count.
Waiting on the count, but it's okay. We're going to give a brief break for some entertainment news. A little bit of politics in it, but I think it'll be pretty good.
Awesome.
All right, guys. This is Jamecia Stoudemire live from Los Angeles, California with your entertainment 4 for 4. So let's get it kicked off with number 1. Kanye West receives 60,000 votes in the presidential election. Okay, so I definitely went to a couple different articles, AP and Newsweek. Now, some interesting things, although it's already interesting enough that Kanye West ran for president, but did you know that he also ran for vice president? Yes. In California, Kanye West was on our ballot as a vice president with Rocky De La Fuente. Now, funny story is, Rocky was unaware. So how they even became running mates? The AIP, which is American Independent Party. So they actually paired the two together without them even knowing. So in the long story short of it, reading the article, they didn't even talk the whole time. Now, interesting thing, I guess the Independent Party, you know, found some great things. They really stand for non-abortion. So that was one thing they really loved about Kanye West, as well as his celebrityism and the influencer status that he has, along with a couple other things that I read in the article. But just alone, you guys, if you voted for Kanye West, it really did split the vote a little bit. Because as you see right now, we're down to the wire. And just to let you know, some of those states that gave him some of the votes, we have Colorado with 6,000 votes that went to Kanye West. Then following underneath that, we have Oklahoma with 5,587. Okay, so then you have Utah, Arkansas, Idaho, Iowa, Kentucky with 6,259 votes for Mr. West. Now, I'm not sure if all these are presidential votes or if they were VIP, but it says, according to Newsweek, he got fewer than 60,000, but still 60,000 votes that could have gone to Trump or Biden. You know, hopefully we'll see tonight. All right, guys, going on to number 2. Drake set a new Billboard record, beating Aretha Franklin and Stevie Wonder. As of this past week, Drake, the rapper, earned his 21st #1 record on the Billboard chart, R&B hip hop chart. So previously, he already had previously owners was Stevie Wonder and Aretha Franklin, who had 20 #1 chart topping singles. So amazing thing for Drake. He definitely, after October, which is his very own month, October's very own. So why are we not surprised at the beginning of November that he is breaking another record? And previously this year, he also broke another Billboard record, which was for the most songs on the Hot 100. So he set that record on his own, and Drake is just breaking records all around. I mean, Drake, are you running for president too? All right, guys, let's go on to number 3. The talk host Eve is set to leave. Originally, she had just said, she wanted to pursue some family, personal life, but on Monday she announced officially that she's working on expanding her family. Eve is known as an actress, a singer, a rapper. If anyone remembers the Rough Riders or DMX, she was the first lady. I mean, she had the pause, guys. But she's loved the show. She's been there for 4 years now, and she really. It also came in the timing of the UK actually shutting down. Didn't get enough research time, but I believe she lives in the UK, and with travel, and her not knowing the travel, she has just decided to go ahead and step away from the show to focus on her family completely. But yeah, she definitely, our co-hosts are Carrie Ann, Sharon Osbourne, and Cheryl Underwood. And she actually entered the show right as Asia Taylor exited. So congratulations, Eve. We'll enjoy you until December, but we congratulate you on working on your new family or expanding it. All right, and the last one for the day, number 4. Funny stuff, some fun stuff. It's the 30th anniversary for the first Billboard #1 hip hop Hot 100 hit, Ice Ice Baby. Now, yes, there are some other rap chart toppers, but Vanilla Ice, his song Ice Ice Baby was the first rap song to hit #1. So there's a lot of wordplay going on in here, guys, but stay with me. So that happened. So it actually took place on November 3rd, 1990. So we're celebrating the 30 years. But some of the other things that I got from the Billboard article were some of the other rap chart topping songs over the year that have also broke some records. So let me go ahead and read those off for you guys. We have the #1 rap Hot 100 was Sugar Hill Gang with Rapper's Delight, which it hit number 36 in January 1980. The first rap to top the top 10 was Run DMC, Walk This Way. And that hit number 4 in September of 1986. That was a great year, guys. All right. And the first rap act with multiple top 10s was Tone Loc. He had Wild Things as well as Funky Gold Medina. Wild Things was number 2 on the top 10, and Funky Gold Medina was number 3. And then we also have the #1 rap song to top. These are just some of my favorites too, by the way, guys, but I just think there's some fun, interesting facts. The rap song to top by the end of the year. So meaning that this song was like one of the top rap songs for the whole year, or the top song out of the whole year. So, because back then they didn't have one just for rap, it was literally for the whole year. So Coolio with Gangster's Paradise in 1993. And then you have Puff Daddy definitely set a couple of those records, Dr. Dre as well, and the list continues. And you can definitely check out that article on Billboard. It's a great read, and just happy birthday, our celebration to the hip hop culture. It's something that so many people didn't think would still be here, but look, our culture standing strong. We are the foundation, and I'm so proud of us all. May your voice be heard for all those that voted, and may they count every vote. I want to say thank you for watching the Entertainment 444. My name is Jamecia Stoudemire, and you can all follow me at THE_ENT_MOGUL on Instagram. Again, that's it for me. Melissa, back over to you.
Thank you so much, Jamecia. Always a pleasure. Appreciate you.
Missed you guys. I'm glad to be back.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Good to have you back. Take care. All right, guys, that does it here for us at the Evening News Rundown. If you haven't yet, be sure to like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff, especially as we continue to move some furniture around in the background. As we like to figuratively say, we are improving our shows. So our schedule is shifting a little bit. You notice that you're seeing a few fewer shows, but that's okay. We'll continue to keep you guys updated as we continue to polish some things, improve some things, make things better for your viewing experience. But be sure to like, share, and subscribe. You can find us at Florida National News on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And on YouTube, be sure to also click the little bell icon so you receive all the notifications for all of our shows, regardless of the type. Of course, you know, we have our political show, FNN Politics and Power, our sports show, FNN Sports Take, and our entertainment show, Entertainment Buzz. And we'll continue to keep you guys updated on where we are with that. But as always, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. It is our honor, as always, to bring you guys the latest news very briefly for your afternoon. Hopefully you have a great rest of your evening and continue to stay safe. Take care.